Don Brothers episode 23. This episode was really wacky, and the title of the episode is called Dog Becomes a Dog. So the title of the episode kind of explains itself, where Inu Brother is acting like a dog the entire episode, and then gets turned into a dog. Spoilers if you haven't watched the episode yet, but the whole Inu Brother where he was unable to demorph the entire episode, this episode had a lot of interesting camera shots and camera angles with how they use the Inu Brothers suit. If you don't like looking at the CGI Inu Brothers suit, then this episode isn't for you, but we're 23 episodes into the show. I'm sure a lot of people have adjusted already, but this episode had a lot of interesting shots that combine the puppetry shots of Inu Brother, that are the close-up shots where they use the puppet suit, which I really enjoy seeing, the puppet suit of Inu Brother, because they're really good at sort of utilizing the shots and the close-up shots with the puppet of Inu Brother. And then with the CGI shots, they are weird because they're CGI, and a lot of them were just wide-angle shots. And you saw a lot of Inu Brother just walking around, and because they usually don't like animate shadows and stuff like that. So this episode was a Tsubasa focused episode where he was forced to be stuffed inside of the Inu Brother suit, because at the start of the episode we see a small child praying to the grave of their dog, and when they fight the monster of the week, which was based on Geki Ranger, which I love the little references they did for Geki Ranger in this episode, because the guy's shoes had sort of the Geki Ranger emblem on it. That was really cool. And not only that, it made the Geki Ranger morph sound when he transformed into the monster of the week. But Inu Brother gets knocked around, he smashes the grave, and then that activates a curse where, because he messed up the grave of the dog, he becomes a dog. And he's just running around the entire episode trying to get himself free. He tries going to Don Momotaro. He doesn't recognize him, which I kind of explains it near the end of the episode, where everyone just sort of sees him as a dog, and then near the end he turns into a live action dog, which was really crazy. And I thought because of how long he was transformed as a dog for, it would sort of bleed into next week's episode, but he was back to normal at the end of the episode once the grave was fixed. But it had some interesting stuff with Inu Brother sort of running around, because we got to expand on the whole Natsume Miho thing, where because Inu Brother kept seeing her more often, and Kiji Brother wasn't around, it was sort of expanding on that whole deep dive that Miho is Natsume, which is kind of confirmed at this point, which happened a couple of episodes ago. But what we got in this episode was this really interesting face-off between Natsume and the police officer Juto, which was really freaking cool, where she just wipes the floor with him and he gets away and just sort of wall jumps out of there in bad CGI once again. But I do love how weird and how crazy that Juto is, the old man, because they just go wacky with the shots they do for him. But like I said, this did focus on the Inu Brother and the Natsume stuff, which I feel like we're not going to get resolved maybe until like much later down the line. I feel like near the end of the show they're saving that for, which I'm totally fine for, because it adds to the mystery and they sort of shave off different bits and pieces of the mystery each episode. But in this episode also, we barely saw the other Don brothers. I mean, we saw them all morphed at the end, near the end of the episode, where they fight the monster of the week and then they turn into the Die Rangers, which was really cool. That was a really cool fight. I really enjoyed that. I kind of wish, because they turned into the Die Rangers, they got to use their wacky powers they had in Die Rangers, such as like illusions and rewinding time and stuff like that, and shooting fireballs. I kind of wish we got to see more of that, but we didn't, unfortunately. But either way, cool fight scene in the end. But I want to talk about the Jiro stuff. So in this episode, Jiro goes back to his hometown, meets his childhood friends, and that sort of inspires him to find new life to help his friends, where he sort of apologizes for being annoying. And then this is where it gets weird. We see this weird Jiro's eyes, they sort of go bloodshot and crazy, and then out of nowhere we see the feral Jiro come out of them, and they're two separate entities. It looks like moving forward, these two guys are going to be two separate entities, which is really interesting, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it, because we're going to have the happy-go-lucky Jiro that loves Momotaro, and then we're going to have the feral Jiro, which hates Momotaro. So now Jiro doesn't really have this whole alter ego feral mode. It looks like it's a whole different person, whole new character into the show, which is really cool, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that, because having the separate Jiro was a good way to introduce the Robotaro forms that Jiro had in this episode, which was the dragon and the tiger. Not the wolf. I called it a wolf in my looking at the toy review. Several people corrected me. It's not a wolf, it's a tiger. My mistake. I'm getting it right now. But yeah, this episode showed off Jiro's mech, which was really fucking cool. We got a really cool fight scene with that mech, and I really did enjoy it. That was a really great fight scene with that mech, and seeing Jiro's mech looks really cool. I might have to get on that and pre-order that toy later down the line. But I feel like it was a good coincidence, because today my Don brother, my Dorogoku and Don Torbolt Morph Henshin figures arrived today, so that was really cool. That combo pack arrived today. But yeah, Don Brothers episode 23. It had an interesting ending where Inu Brother turned into an actual dog, and then he was adopted by a child, and there was a little bit of a gag at the end where Miho and Kiji Brother, Kiho, they fix the grave, and then it then cuts back to Inu Brother, where he says he's a real dog. He eats the dog food. He transforms into a real person. I was thinking the kid would scream and run away, but she just stares at him in awe. But the funny gag is when Inu Brother gets turned back to normal, he's in his human form as Tsubasa, and he just keeps eating the dog food. Funny laughs all around. But yeah, it was a really good episode. I really did enjoy it. This episode was a lot of fun. Kind of wacky, kind of goofy, but we're still sort of exploring the whole Juto, the Natsumi thing, which I hope we deep dive into that some more later down the line, because I feel like everyone's had a focus episode so far, and then we're going to get back into main plot stuff. Well, the next big story arc, I'm guessing, whatever that will be, because we've had some main plot stuff in the episodes, but the last couple of weeks, everyone's sort of gotten a focus episode. So I think Kiji Brother maybe needs a focus episode, because I feel like he hasn't gotten one in a while. But yeah, either way, I enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go next. So what did you guys think of Don Brothers episode 23? Love it? Hate it? Tell me in the comment section down below. With that said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, take care, bye.